You told me what He-Man figures you hated, and I loved them. So let's take a look at them. Yo, welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a whole new video. Don't forget, we got a new show. Okay, I ain't gonna do the whole video like that, sorry. What are we gonna talk about today? Well, I got on social media and asked you guys what some action figures that you hated as a kid. Not action figure lines, but action figures. And although the video was gonna be all about different ones, there was a lot of you that said He-Man figures. He-Man was on the list a lot. And a lot of the figures on He-Man was figures I loved as a kid. I couldn't believe they were getting such a bum rap. So I thought, let's just talk about the ones from He-Man that you guys say y'all hated as a kid, but I actually love playing with. Now, go ahead and warn you, I'm probably going to pronounce the names wrong. If you watch my videos, you know I pronounce a lot of stuff wrong. 10 years of speech therapy didn't help the junk kid much. So go ahead. In fact, go ahead right now. I'll pause it. You go ahead and tell me how I suck at talking, how you can't understand me, or I said something wrong. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. I'll give you a second. Witty. Okay, so let's move on. But I'm not even going to try to name these figures because I'll get it wrong. You remember I did a whole video about that skunk He-Man figure? I thought his name was Skunko all my life. Then y'all told me his name was Stinkman or something. I'm going to give you the names of the figures I called them as a kid because I don't know about you. Unless we heard their names a lot on the cartoon, most of the time we didn't know their names. We would forget their names, so we would just call them what we thought they were called or what they should have been called. So, first, I'm going to show you some figures that I hated that you guys wasn't on y'all's guys' list. But let's look at the ones that you guys all hated. And I remember having a kid that I really loved. And let's start off with this one right here. I actually have them. Two-Face Fool. That's what we called him as a kid. Now, I know that's not the real name, but Two-Face. See, why y'all hated Two-Face Fool? No, really, I love this figure. Now, this was getting kind of late in the line, part of the Hordak line, and I really loved it because I would sit there and just make them hit each other's face. I like Siamese twins. I loved it. Remind me of those two crazy Chinese guys I used to always see in the Book of World Records. Or maybe it was Ripley's, believe it or not. I can't remember. One of those books we get at the toy fair. Not toy fair. We would get at the book fair at school. You know, those Chinese guys, call them Siamese twins, but they were just hooked together with a thin piece of skin. Fakers. I always liked the fat guys that rode the motorcycle. That was a couple of fat guys that knew how to have fun. Anyway, we've got Two-Face Fool. I liked him, again, because you can make him punch each other's face. Look. I'm taking Rebecca on a date. No, I'm taking Rebecca. I liked it. I don't know about you guys, but you guys seem not to like it. And you also didn't like this one. I was surprised because I loved Robot Man. How could you not love Robot Man? Now, he's a little sticky today, and his rubber's coming off. He's not wearing a rubber. I just meant the rubber band in there. Starting to get old. He's a robot. He doesn't need to wear a rubber. But I liked him because you can see his joints moving. Now, here, his joints don't really move too good anymore. It's all jammed up. Happens with age, I guess. And his mouth would open. I like this guy. He was different. And he was the Terminator of the He-Man line. When you needed somebody just to tear down walls and everything, you brought in Robot. Oh my God, I just broke Robot Man. Robot Man. I liked him. I think he came with different arms. They changed out. I can't remember for sure. But I always liked playing when it was, me and my friends would get together. He picked one, I picked one. He picked one, I picked one. I would always make sure I grabbed Robot Man. I like Robot Man. Who else is on my list? Now, this one I can't believe you guys said y'all didn't like. Prince Adam was one of my go-to figures. I love Prince Adam. Now, it was kind of bummed when your friend had He-Man and you got Prince Adam. You almost needed them both. And, of course, we didn't call him Prince Adam. We called him Daytime He-Man. Now, of course, we knew his name was Adam, but we still like to call him Daytime He-Man. I mean, it's just a rip-off He-Man figure. But it was fun to have someone to play just the lazy bum laying around the castle. You could do that with Daytime He-Man. I like Daytime He-Man. Who's next on my... This, I could not believe this one was on the list. A rope guy. That's what we call him, rope guy. He come with a harpoon, and I love this figure. I can remember putting him on my floor in my bedroom, having the harpoon go up on my dressers, and let him climb. He pulled the string. You would hook up the string, pull it, and he would climb up it. He was awesome. I love this figure. Now, a lot of you guys said he would get tangled up. Hey, I took care of my He-Man toys. He didn't get tangled up at all. Well, this one now he has. Look at this now. You will say you love Rope Man. But I like old rope guy. His face was kind of ugly, but overall he was a lot of fun. He had the harpoon. It was really great to make him climb up Castle Grayskull. I'm guessing if you didn't like this figure, he must not have had a Castle Grayskull. That's the only thing I can think of. This one here. Like this one too. Some of you guys put it on the list. Don't really like touching him, and he's really sticky today. Yep, we're talking Tree Monster. Tree Monster Man. He always smelled. Always people said he smelled. I never could smell him. I know he smelled like a pine tree or something, but I could never smell him. It'd be cool if he smelled like Christmas. That would be cool. A lot of you guys didn't like him, and I can kind of understand why. He felt different. He was kind of, when you touched him, you really didn't want to touch him. Ugh, I'll play with him if I got to. Ugh. He really didn't want to, touch it too much. And he get, just like this one here, I remember mine as a kid, it got a lot of carpet or hair or fuzz stuck in it. You take this, downstairs in the living room, you play with it on the floor, it's going to have carpet, especially back in the 80s. If you still have some of that 70s shag carpet around the house, it's going to get on it. You take it outside, no, you don't take Moss Man, or in this case, Tree Monster Man outside. Don't do it. He's going to get all kinds of stuff stuck on him. You do not do that. Who else do we got? Can't believe it. Another one I couldn't believe was on the list. Bzz. What's that? What's that I hear? Bzz. Buzz off. That's right. A Bumblebee dude. Bumblebee dude. Why did y'all not like this? I liked anything I could make it fly. I liked them when they were different. So this one was different. I could make him fly. That's right. And I can remember we took a bottle of whiteout, liquid paper, whatever you want to call it. Hold it up right here, make it look like he's dropping bird shit on Skeletor. It was great. He's fun to play with now. Now again, he is stupid looking. Look at his face right there. He is kind of stupid. If it's going to focus, I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but who cares? As soon as this video is over, I'm going to play with Bumblebee Dude all night. I love Bumblebee Dude. Who else do we got? This one I can kind of understand. The faker of all He-Mans, we called him not He-Man. It was just a blue He-Man. Now, I didn't really hate him. You guys said you hate him, and I can see why. It's kind of like, you got this, and you're like, a blue He-Man? What am I going to do with this? I already got He-Man and Prince Adam. Now I need another one. It just seemed like a cash grab, didn't it? But I liked having a villain He-Man. And I don't know how, but I always made him fool Teela. And, we're going on a date. We getting on Teela. But it was really faker. Teela was putting out to a fake He-Man. Who else is on my list right now? Red Lobster. Now, again, this is one I can kind of agree with you with. I can see why you didn't like him. He was never really one of my favorites, but I didn't hate him. That's why I put him on the list. He's got a crawl. He can go, ow, he got my finger, that hurt. Oh, no, don't tell Charlie. So it was pretty cool. You use him to grab a figure with. I don't really hate him, but I don't really love him either. Honestly, I don't really remember having that much as a kid, but apparently I must have. Who else do we have here? How could you not like this one? Metal Nick. How could you not like Metal Nick? Hey, look, Metal Nick, there's Teela. There's Evil Lynn. How could you not love Metal Nick? And you could always set him up. You could have him sitting up like this. Maybe get some toys stick around. Maybe the Castle Grayskull and have him, pop his head up. Have all the other ones down here. And then all of a sudden, boop, he's looking around. It's clear, kid. Let's go. How could you? It was a lot of fun. That's what I liked figures that was different. And who was different? Although he's missing his chest plate. Metal Nick. And look at those cool hipster glasses, man. How could you not focus? How could you not love that? That is, I tell you, I would love to find a hat and sunglasses like this today. I would do all my videos dressed like that if I could. I would. Who else we got? Not Fisto. And I agree with you. This one sucks. Move on from Not Fisto. He sucked. Who else do we have? One of my, if I did my top 5 favorites, this would be it. And y'all put him in you didn't like category. Squirt. Now, why didn't y'all like Squirt? I don't know. You take his head off, fill it up with water, put his head back down. Beep, 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 beep. Hell, if you want to take it off, put some perfume in there. Cologne, I should say, for the guys. And you got a hot date in 3rd grade. There you go. You're smelling good. It's more than an action figure. In fact, it was a canteen. I can remember putting Coca-Cola in this thing, taking it to school, and they're like, "Junk kid, did you bring toys to school?" Yes, I brought a toy to school, but it's nothing else. Fooled the teacher. I love this thing. I love this figure. You fill it with water, spray He-Man in the face, spray Moss Man, the skin, anybody you wanted to, just psh, psh, psh. Love this figure. And it reminds me that we now have a shirt of the instructions for this. That's right, the instructions are now on a shirt. Check this out. And you know what? This shirt and all the shirts all weekend are $13. What's the day? The 25th? So you better hurry. Until 26, 27, 28 or something. For the next couple of days, all shirts are $13. Now that is a shameless plug. I'm going to go put some Mountain Dew in this after the video. And now the last one that you guys said y'all hated. And this was by far, a lot of you hated this one. And I couldn't believe it because I didn't know he wasn't loved. And on Twitter, Facebook, other places, his name came up a lot. I could not believe it. I love this figure. Ram Man. And we actually called him by his name. We called him Ram Man. How could you not love Ram Man? Let me show you why I love Ram Man. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find one that actually stands up. Is he going to stand up? Come on, Not Fisto. You stand up all your figures. Don't worry, He-Man. This one doesn't lock anymore, but you just... Boom! How could you not love that? Let's watch it again in slow motion. Watch. How could you not love this? How could... Again, a figure that was different. And you could make him do this. He was the bunny rabbit of the He-Man line. Some of you just didn't have imaginations as kids, I guess. So now I'm going to look at some that wasn't on the hate list, but I hated these figures growing up. I mean, I hated these figures. And this one I didn't have. I bought this one in the 90s when I was collecting toys because I didn't have it as a kid because I hated it. Vagina Face. Oh, get in there, Vagina Face. Let them see you real good. Is it going to focus? Focus. Oh, well, you know what Vagina Face looks like. You don't need it to focus. Hated this thing. It was ugly. I had a friend that had it when we played He-Man together, and I was like, keep that thing away from me. It's disgusting. I hated this figure. Hated it. Still today. Can't stand to look at it. Who else we got? I should have liked this figure because he could fly. I never, ever liked hairy dude with wings. I never knew his name. Strato or something now. I don't know. I never liked this guy. I guess he could fly. Had a rocket jet on his back. But look at him. Look at how hairy his chest is. Reminds me of that guy that used to come over when my dad was at work and teach my mom yoga. Hey, just look at this thing. Hate this. Get out of here. I hate that thing. What else do we got? Never had this one either. In fact, I think this was Boyd's. I think he left it over at my house. That is kind of cool. Now, that is kind of cool right there. Yeah, but what do we call this ugly thing? That's what we called it. Hey, I know it's not PC to say, but hey, That's what we called him back then. We didn't mean anything by it. We just saw this guy and said, hey, he looks like. That's what we called him. Sorry about that. Just being honest. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just what we called him. So who else? Now, this figure I did have. One of the first figures I had. Never liked him. He just didn't fit in with He-Man for some reason. I don't know. He was on the cartoon. I don't know why. I called him out of place man. He just didn't seem right. I think his name's the Zodiac Killer or something now. I hate looking at him. He's got a lot of hair on him also. It just looks like a generic He-Man figure. If you didn't know He-Man, you lined him up, you would say, that's not He-Man. That's some generic ripoff sold at Family Dollar. I hated Out of Place Man. Ooh, hated that figure. Anyway, that's a look at some He-Man figures you said you hated growing up. And I loved them. Let me know in the comments below. Are there any more figures from the He-Man collection that you hated, that you just couldn't stand, that a lot of other people like? Or maybe you want one that you love, like Ram Man, and everybody hates. Ram Man. Why does Ram Man get such bad... I don't know. Ram Man. Anyway, don't forget, t-shirts are on sale at junkmanmerch.com for $13 all weekend. And until the next video, thumb up so I know you like my content. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Junkman. Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.